Oh. Look at the little salty fanboy. Gonna cry?
Well, would you look at who it is? Let me guess. Rehab turned you down again.
I'm here for the same reason you is, man. I want some crack.
That wouldn't happen if the government actually took the pony salt epidemic seriously. But then again, you guys can't go around trying to kidnap people at rehab places to sell them off for some pony salt either. Rehab is meant for recovery, not a pickup spot for your next hit of salt. Anyways, yes, I'll take the cash that you have in your hands right now, thank you. Here's your hit of salt.
Are you on drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Do you take drugs or alcohol?
What is drugs?
As someone who doesn't have a console and probably never will, after all, I am a massive PC elitist prick, it's been insanely entertaining to watch the utter autism unfold before my eyes. Cause see, when you're a PC gamer, you're afforded that luxury. You get the best from both platforms without having to own them.
And a dick so big, I can't even find a female willing to take it.
I really wish I could sit here and tell you this is the end of the video, but if I did that, most of you would ask me for a refund with a bit of interest. The interest being my left kidney. And just like Microsoft prioritizes with chips, I need to prioritize my own health. I can't exactly be a drug fiend with solely one kidney and a dying liver.
It's the hardest working liver in the galaxy, Morty, and now it has a hole in it.
Scarlett Nexus has reached 2 million players worldwide, including fans on Xbox and PC Gamepass. Thank you very much for supporting the OSF. If all these developers, publishers, and corporations could put me on a call list every time they're about to post a tweet that'll flood Twitter's timeline with salt like a tsunami, that'd be much appreciated. It makes my job a lot easier. I mean, to be fair, this isn't a hard job. All you gotta do is log on to Twitter. Well, actually, now that I think about it...
Hey, stop! Why? I just don't get it. I always catch you fuckers watching this sick shit.
So 2 million players who didn't buy the game. You should be more thankful for people who bought the game and supported the
game. Oh, Daddy Frit, please tell us that was just weed. Of course not. I'm in prison. What do you think it is? Well, I just want to start off by saying that was very based of Scarlett Nexus to not thank the PlayStation guys. I mean, we all know they could've, but they didn't. That's what makes it hilarious. You see, the game was added to Gamepass over a year ago when its sales were topped at 1 million. And now here we are a year later and the game's player base increased by another 1 million. And so here are the developers happy and celebrating that putting their game on Gamepass not only helped increase its player count, but also its sales. Plus, they got a nice check from Microsoft. Let these motherfuckers make as much bread as they can. But most importantly, understand that maybe they didn't include PlayStation guys for a reason? Are you really in any position to be telling the developers who they should be thanking? I don't even know how someone could be so entitled to someone else's gratitude.
Players mean nothing. Players don't stay forever. Players move on. Not all players don't invest into the game. This is nothing more than bought and paid for Microsoft PR. Any company which sails from Microsoft forever loses credibility and any future sales from me.
Bye, have a beautiful time.
Players mean nothing in a game that has monetization. Yeah, okay. Brilliant take here. And what's that? Players don't stay forever? You don't say. Maybe that's why they put it on Game Pass? Not all players don't invest into the game. Thank you for proving our point. And what's this? Microsoft paid for a compliment? Is that what happened? Was that in the contract Scarlett Nexus signed with Microsoft? And by the way, it gives me great pleasure to tell you that if every single game out there that receives some sort of PR from Microsoft will lose a sale from you, be prepared to miss out on at least 70% of video games. No one's gonna miss you. Close the door on your way out, please. And for good measure, I'll be sure to break the key that's under the mat.
Not sure how loyal you gotta be when the game isn't even being purchased. Game sold 1 million copies, vast majority on PlayStation consoles. Reaching 2 million players with the help of Game Pass isn't anything to celebrate. Not when that service has 25 million users.
But, all I'm saying, they're gonna get a...
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
This man was so cooked alive in the comments section, I think it may qualify as cannibalism. It honest to God baffles me that in the year 2022, with the amount of free-to-play games out there, that anybody would be stupid enough to think that buying a game means you're loyal to it. As a matter of fact, people buying the game does not guarantee that they're gonna stay loyal to it any more than someone who's playing it on Game Pass. And how exactly is reaching a player count of 2 million thanks to Game Pass not something to celebrate? They got paid for their game to get bigger. Who wouldn't be happy about that? Plus, they have their own little DLC shop. PlayStation fanboys truly have such a misconstrued idea of loyalty, programmed by their corporate overlords to believe that $70 day one is the only way, and if anyone is playing any other way, it doesn't count. For fuck's sake, they're now saying that players don't matter and player count is irrelevant. Also, why are these dumbasses acting like the developers of Scarlett Nexus or Square Enix or some bullshit? Did they think this game was gonna be selling millions upon millions of copies? 2 million is huge, not just for these guys, but basically anyone. It's quite significant to them, and to undermine it is pretty fucking douchey. And it's 10 times more depressing knowing that you wouldn't be doing any of this shit if all they said was thank you PlayStation guys as well.
So this tweet makes sure to thank Xbox and PC Game Pass users who rented your game, but not PlayStation users who made up the majority of the sales of your game. Noted, I won't be buying your next game.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Are you fucking for real right now? One tweet wasn't enough for you? You had to come back for some more? Maybe he just has a fetish for getting ratioed. I ain't kink shaming. Go ahead and enjoy yourself. I know I'm having a good time. I mean, first off, this tweet is including all sales, alright? That 2 million is including the PlayStation guys who bought it. But the thanks goes to the Game Pass, Xbox, and PC users. But any sort of goddamn mention of Game Pass, and suddenly you have a future school shooter on your hands. Maybe next time, if you want some gratitude towards a purchase you may have never made, just rent it on Game Pass.
Scarlett Nexus, 2 million players total on PlayStation, Xbox, PC. After going on Game Pass with 25 plus million subscribers, PS Plus in comparison, Oddworld had 4 million downloads on PS5 only in 1 month. Microsoft claims such games see 8 times average player lift on Game Pass.
Oh gee, that's amazing, but did I ask? Are you really so goddamn salty that they're thanking Game Pass that you thought this was relevant to bring in? It's not even the same game. I could easily dismiss it and move on, but I decided to look a little further. Don't blame me, blame God for making me a curious man. PlayStation Plus ended up being detrimental to Oddworld, and that's coming straight from the developers, alright? Clearly, they were given a pretty shitty deal from Sony when it came to putting their game on their subscription service. Well, it was actually PS Plus, you know, that thing everybody needs to play online, so everybody got Oddworld. And yet you can see a massive divide here. Devs putting their game on PS Plus were not happy, devs putting their game on Game Pass were happy. If the whole goal was to convince the developers of Scarlett Nexus to put their game on PS Plus, congratulations, you failed miserably. Get back to cleaning Sony's dirty laundry and stop airing it to the public.
But wait! There's more!
Oh, that's right. We're not done, actually. What, did you guys actually think I was gonna end it here? I'm not the most wanted man by the DEA for no reason. So David Jaffe, a name that would probably make most of your eyes roll. Further back than a hit of heroin. Let's be fair, this man is not good at talking about video games. He may have helped create some of the best ones, but that don't mean he knows how to talk about them in any sort of meaningful or entertaining way. This man has a gift for triggering just about anybody. Hell, he triggered me with his Elden Ring takes. So when I found out that he was on a live debate with one of the saltiest PlayStation fanboys known to mankind, King Thrash, I knew he must have said something that really wasn't all that bad.
I say, again, it does look like DLC for the most part to me. DLC is not a bad thing. God of War 2018 was one of my favorite games that came out that year. And beyond that, it was a phenomenal game. Loved it. And if what God of War Ragnarok is simply more of that, maybe pushed a little bit, great. I'll play it and I'll enjoy it.
He's a monster.
Wait, is that really it? Is that all he said? And mind you, that shit he said over a year ago? Holy shit, and here I was sitting thinking to myself, maybe, just maybe David said something like, I don't know, I enjoyed Halo more than Horizon Forbidden West or some bullshit. But no, it was just commenting that God of War Ragnarok looks like DLC. This is what triggered the PlayStation fanboys, apparently, and not Sony fucking them over with GT7. And exactly what were the ponies supposed to do with all this pent-up anger and frustration? Well, obviously get David Jaffe on our show so we can all yell at him and dogpile him, and yet somehow still come out with the black eyes and broken teeth. And obviously, as you would imagine from a couple of high-Q individuals, they bombarded him with questions like he was an Xbox fanboy or some shit, and proceeded to make claims about him faster than he could possibly answer. And don't worry, you don't have to go over to King Thrash's shitty channel to watch it. I'll be covering it live on stream, so it's a lot more bearable, and the suicide hotlines don't get overrun. But in the meantime, how about we go ahead and enjoy some clips?
Give some examples.
What do you mean, give some examples?
You said every single take on first-party Sony games is a terrible take.
Oh, don't you just hate being put on the spot? Claiming that every single take the God of War creator has had on PlayStation games has been a terrible take. Well, sorry to tell you this, Mr. No Cap, but you're not on Twitter anymore. You're talking to the man, so you're gonna have to answer to him directly.
Your take on Last of Us 2 was fucking terrible.
His take on The Last of Us 2 was terrible. Well, Mr. Jaffe, what was your take on The Last of Us 2?
This game has absolutely made me a believer in the talent of that guy. I mean, that's not even true. I always knew he was talented. His just stuff wasn't for me. This is for me. I fucking love this game. Still not my game of the year. Definitely top 3 2020. This, wow, what a fucking game, man.
Oh my.
Well, I hate to have to agree with Mr. No Cap, but yeah, I think that's a terrible take. Oh, that's not what you meant. Oh, you thought he had like one of the takes where he didn't like the game. That's probably what you thought, because you don't actually know who the fuck you're talking to. Most of these dudes in the call all probably think David Jaffe is an Xbox shill. As it turns out, if you put PlayStation fanboys on the spot, they'll just make shit up. Imagine my shock.
It was my favorite game of the year.
Absolutely fucking terrible.
Oh, really? Is that so? What horrible take did the former God of War creator have on God of War 2018?
Well done. So it's one of my favorite games I've played in a long time. I adored this game. Santa Monica, thank you. Corey, thank you. Shannon, thank you. Yumi, Sean Layden, Scott Rohde, Shuhei Yoshida, all you guys, man. Love the game. Love everything about it other than the previous video, which tells you the stuff I hated about it. Fix that shit for the sequel, fellas and fletties.
I'm not getting the bigger picture here. Is complimenting PlayStation games now considered bad? Is that what the PlayStation fanboys think? Oh, maybe they think compliments aren't enough. You must also provide worship. Kiss Jim Ryan's feet. Anally probe him whenever he asks. And promote Sony 24/7 like a good corporate slave. That or Mr. No Cap is just making shit up on the spot, because when his stupidity is confronted for once, he's got nothing else he can do other than cap.
When I called it, when I said that made it look like DLC, what do you need to hear? You think that I'm lying? You think I was actually insulting it and now I'm trying to walk it back? Is that what you really think?
No, I think it was clickbait, because I mean ragging on shit that Sony does is that's the cool thing to do for YouTube.
What? No, get it through your thick skull. Ragging on PlayStation isn't what's popular or cool on YouTube. Ragging on PlayStation fanboys is what is popular and cool on YouTube. I don't know who started it. My best guess would be the ponies themselves when they put themselves out publicly like this to humiliate themselves. But either way, did David Jaffe just say what he said to get some clicks, or did he mean what he said? Not that it fucking matters, since anyone taking offense to the term DLC in 2022 is just a bunch of boomers.
Today, as well as when I saw the God of War Ragnarok trailer, it seems like more of the same, which is fine. Which is, how can you complain about more of the same of a game that is... A lot of they were saying it was their game of the generation. I certainly can't complain. It was one of my favorite games, so I'm looking forward to playing it. But I'm not excited about it because I recall seeing the trailer and going, okay, it looks like DLC, which is, again, not a problem, but I'm not going to be all hyped about it. I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm sure I'll enjoy it. I'll play when it comes to.
How can anyone sit here, listen to this, look at the video title and think to themselves, this is clickbait? Clearly, that's how David Jaffe feels. He thinks it looked like DLC. What does DLC mean? Downloadable content. Does that narrow it down? Not really. For fuck's sake, some of the best shit I ever played was DLC. Scholar of the First Sin, ring a bell? That shit was better than the base game itself. Don't forget when journalists considered Fallout New Vegas to be DLC. And at that time, I thought to myself, holy shit, that is some of the best DLC I've ever played. I don't know how anyone could get offended by the term DLC. It's one man's opinion.
Okay, so anytime I say something...
Every single Sony developed game, you have a terrible, terrible take on each and every one of them.
Hey jackass, at this point you should take the no out of Mr. No Cap. They want so desperately to attack him like he's an Xbox fanboy, but that's gonna be really hard to do without any sort of receipts. For fuck's sake, do you guys know who you brought on? Not a clue. They live in Twitter spaces, so clouded with console wars 24/7, they forgot what it's like to speak to someone who doesn't participate in that bullshit.
And God of War 2, and let's see.
I already did it.
It looked like in the same fucking realm, dude. Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and play this stupid game that they playing with you. They stepping around you because they still respect you to that degree. I don't, and I don't give a fuck to argue your opinion either. Because that's what all of this shit is boiling down to. This is what I feel the definition of this word is. It's fucking nothing. That's what the fuck it is. It's you trying to justify the stupid shit that you've said. That's what the fuck this is. Period. Now go ahead and talk to yourself.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
How can a bunch of self-proclaimed PlayStation diehards sit here and talk like this to the creator of one of their favorite franchises of all time? Is it because he said the wrong thing? Is it because he said it looked like DLC? Did that really trigger you into such a ghetto-ass tantrum? I cannot believe the US government considers you a grown adult. Oh, but don't worry, there's a happy ending to all of this, because when David Jaffe was given the chance to get on the mic, it was pure verbal assault.
Jaffe's career post God of War is a DLC since it's a compliment. Damn, y'all niggas are stabbing me.
No, I'm just curious. Does that come with a link to your LinkedIn? Guapzilla, what the f have you done, bitch? I have made multi-million selling franchises, both of which are being made into TV shows and movies, as well as sequels. So sit the f down, shut the fuck up, or jump in the arena and compare your work to my work. How many people watch your show, Zilla? How many people follow you on Twitter, Guapzilla? You want to fucking compete? We can do it. But don't fucking try to act like you got something to say and you have nothing to back it up with.
This right here is what we would call a know your role and shut your damn mouth, as The Rock would say. It honestly blows my mind watching PlayStation fanboys talk this way to somebody who helped create one of their favorite franchises of all time. You all got rightfully put in your place for talking like this. And the sad part is they all walked away thinking they had the W.
Adsic TV went straight Hulk. Glad to hear that, man. A friend for the way he wrestled the legendary David Scott Jaffe live on the Roundtable podcast, hosted by Do What You Do, Can't Miss TV, y'all.
Hulk? Straight up Hulk? No, that was straight up Ratchet. Your friend over there just got the shit kicked out of him. Which nearby hospital did you take him to? At this point, I don't really know what Daddy Frit has to do to convince anyone the ponies have lost their minds. I mean, none of them have any single right to take offense to the term DLC, or do they? Oh wait, would you look at that? Apparently the ponies were calling anything that resembled a previous iteration DLC. Maybe that's where they draw the negative connotation from, because they were the ones to originally make it seem as if it was a bad thing. I've never seen a community shoot themselves in the foot so goddamn much. But sadly, these are the results of being on the console war battlefield for far too long. A complete loss of social skills, a sharp decline in their IQ, and an emergence of primal rage. You know, I've just reached this point where I wouldn't be surprised if Air triggers PlayStation fanboys next. And then you'll see them having Twitter arguments with Air, getting into live stream debates with Air. And for some reason, as stupid as that sounds, it may be entertaining. What with it being them? Anything is goddamn possible. Except for me regaining my sanity, that will forever be lost. So you should all thank me by liking, sharing, or subscribing if you so choose to. Maybe donate to the Patreon. Get a fund going for a tow truck to get me the fuck out of here. And with that being said, I'll be seeing all of you very soon.
Vegeta, what's his name? Fritanga.